Okay, I'm here with Javier, Fender Custom Shop. He's gonna take us through the magical dinosaur tour, as he calls it. But it's gonna be a ton of fun. We're gonna see lots of cool stuff, mostly old stuff, a few new things along the way too, but thanks for joining us. Get your eyeballs ready, your ears ready as well. Going in. Loud in there.
I want to see if we can get some. This is open.
What is this cool room?
Exciting. So this is where the wood selection does start. In here in these doors, we have all the fancy, nice wood, right? This stuff has been pre-selected for the higher quality stuff, and then they'll come in here and actually select the wood.
Yeah. Like, or no, where are we going?
Yes, we're going to the mill. So we'll start in the custom shop neck mill area.
Okay, we're rolling.
This is also a dryer in here. This door were to roll open, you're gonna see a bunch of wood drying.
Okay.
We're gonna have stuff from Acoustasonic still going. We have a lot of the custom shop stuff, a lot of the wood like weight selection we were talking about is done in there. We can look in there if you wanna look. I didn't think of it earlier. See some ebony or some rosewood here.
Wow, that's cool.
Wax sealed so that we don't lose any of the moisture beforehand. So the ends are sealed with wax. All this is going to get inspected and they're going to see the highest quality stuff for the custom shop. We do save the higher grade stuff for the custom shop. Obviously all the real like Brazilian, custom shop only. It doesn't get used anywhere else. Here's something cool.
Oh,
Solid slab for the George Harrison neck, rosewood neck.
okay, I gotta hold that. Good God. It's so heavy.
Yeah, you can take someone out with that.
Oh man, that's a murder device.
Yeah, it is. You got some cool.
That's beautiful.
Some flame, some roasted maple.
That's gorgeous too. Another murder device. Excuse me.
So these are getting ready to start milling process, right?
Okay.
As we talked about before, when you're making a neck, you want to remove wood a little bit at a time.
Yes.
So that you can mitigate how much movement it does. This wood is organic, it's going to want to do its thing. You give it time to do its thing, by the time the guitar is made, you're going to have a solid neck for life. Here's the joiner, they're finding the cupping, so you get the right cupping in the right direction, so when you put the truss rod in, the guitar is not going to go south in the future. So this is something you train. Very old school process, I think.
That is.
The joiner is one of the lifelines of the mill. The joiner, the planer, bandsaw. I'm gonna try to sneak by here when I get a chance. I don't want to walk behind him.
No, you don't want to get down. Don't bring it slow.
That thing is a mauler.
What is that doing exactly?
So, can I get by for a sec? So there's two tables, right? So the two tables are perfectly level and slightly off, so when you pass the wood, it is causing this part of the wood that you're cutting to be level. So I'm gonna show you.
Oh, okay, there.
Yeah, that'll destroy anything you put in there.
That's crazy.
So as the wood slides through, because the table's level, you're gonna remove all like the cupping, all like the curves off the wood and make it nice and straight.
Okay, perfect. I have reflexively got my fingers in my hip pockets there.
That scares me just opening it.
That's scary as hell. Ugh, I don't want that job.
Yeah, that's gnarly. I've jointed like a couple hundred pieces of wood in a day, and no matter what, it's always nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
no matter how many times you've done it.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. And so they have that push pin that's specially made, has a little grip on it, pass it through, keep it safe. Something you should never lose is respect for the machine.
No.
And as a guitar player, you want to keep your digits. So over here we have all the blanks, which earlier I was mentioning. Every guitar that we make is born here. So it's pre-selected with its traveler, with what it's supposed to be from the beginning. So you don't have batches. Custom Shop's not going to have a ton of guitars. Let's see what comes out. It's selected at the moment of birth. We know what it's going to be. So it's like almost like when you select the grapes for the wine to make the perfect Chardonnay, we select it right at birth, right here.
That tracks, I like it.
The machines that we use are only specifically to do the stuff that's more meticulous and perfect. Everything else can be done by hand. The CNC is perfect for channels, perimeters, fret slots. Anything that has to be precise, the CNC should be the thing doing it.
Trust.
Manny here, as you guys might have met him earlier, he is our lead. What's up, dude?
He's back.
We're back, Manny. This is off one? Are you running off one, right? So it's operation one right here.
We're on the back of it.
Right on. That's nuts. Tracing with pencil.
So depending whether it's going to be a rosewood or skunk stripe, there's going to be different operations because you have to install the truss rod, right?
Right.
So this is going to be rear installation for a skunk stripe. And that's all going to be done over yonder.
Okay. That makes sense.
You guys want to see that area? Oh, I'm guessing it's taking, we could talk a little bit of installation. This is final sand.
That's cool right here.
So over here, after the final product has been shaped to its spec, we're going to remove all the impurities from the scratches, anything from scratches to little hard, rough edges. If you want, you can take a look.
You can see it?
How rough it comes
Yep.
out. So I'm going to go ahead and sand that spot.
There we go.
Right. So I get it rough, and I'm doing the final sanding before it goes off. Have the last few steps before it goes to paint.
Perfect.
So I get it kind of rough.
No, that's nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Killed it.
Up here is what we call the block sanding or the truing. Marking the fingerboard for high and low spots using radius blocks so that we can get it to the perfect true. Now, there are machines that do this. In the custom shop, we still do this by hand.
That's
Again,
insane.
there's some stuff that I feel can be done better than by a human hand, and this is one of them.
I love that.
Using the pencil to mark it,
using
so you
these.
can see the high and low spots. You have the radius gauges here. Checking it as they go along, making sure they're not causing any issues. Especially when you're doing like a compound radius. A compound radius, a machine won't be able to do it as perfect.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Does the human hand have to do all the compounds?
Yeah, human hands will do all the final stuff on the compound. One of the things I learned back when I was in R&D is that compound radius block setting is some of the hardest things you can do. Because somewhere in here is where the transition happens, right?
Yep.
So if you don't get that right, you're gonna have a hump in the neck won't play right. If you get it right, it's probably gonna be one of the best playing necks we've ever touched. So.
That's cool. Hey, it's Hugo.
Rockstar.
We're back now. The rock star's here. Hey, Sean, I found our friend Hugo. Here's guy with the talent.
Hugo, you want to walk us through some of the stuff that you do?
Yeah. So, Riverside Traveler. Well, look at the neck set. So the neck shape, first and 12th, and sometimes there's notes.
Yep.
Special.
We add lots of note stars usually.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
So far, nothing better than that.
This one's pretty big. Where's this one going?
We're going to Europe.
Oh,
EDC.
yep.
So there's I think 4 stocks. For this one, there's no template.
Oh, it's just all hand?
Our dude today is a grandmaster back shaper.
Wow.
He taught me before, and just by training, I feel.
That's all it is? There's no template at all?
No, it's all passed down knowledge.
That is nuts.
We used to have a guy that worked here, his name was Herbie, who had shaped the necks back in the time of Leo. Literally retired a couple of years ago. And he was telling us that people would hit him up about shaping necks the way they did in the 50s. And he could reproduce every neck except one neck. And that's because the guy who was shaping them at the time had a peg leg. So the way he would shape them, it would take off one side, so it was asymmetrical. And he couldn't, that's the only one that he couldn't duplicate.
Yeah, so a lot of it is really passed down, this information, passed down training.
That's nuts. It's like an old barge.
There's templates, so there's so many different examples. A lot of it is really from one generation of employees to another.
How long you been here?
4 years now.
4 years?
4 years.
Awesome, man. You're like the newbie then.
I am.
Always like these old guys here, 20, 30, 40 years, I'm getting blown away.
Yeah, so if you have any questions, ask our studio and do
That's beautiful work, man.
Thank you.
Love it. I'll hand it back to you. Yeah.
Finished product of what you were holding earlier.
So this is
solid rosewood.
I'll do the rough back shaping in the beginning, doing the whole process, and then final back shaping.
Again, going back to what we talked about, removing wood at stages so that it does do its twist.
I love that.
Shape it back.
So it'd be a lot faster to grind it out, but
it
got some messed up toys later. That's cool.
Just kind of read it, 60 t-shirt, first ball.
I like how different the scoop is on these too. Like such a narrow scoop and a deeper one here. That's cool.
This is going to Thunder Road.
Oh, Thunder Road. I know those guys. Where do you go, Thunder Road? Got another toy coming. That's killer. Oh, hey, thanks, brother. It's great meeting you too, man. Good luck with everything. Keep killing it. Keep killing it.
Thank you, thank you.
It's loud in here if you haven't noticed.
So here's a weird little thing. Here's a marriage between old and new, right? Modern manufacturing will use a saw to nip the fret end.
Holy cow, I see where you're going.
Vintage, you use your hand. We got a pneumatic hand clipper. The reason being is with the saw, if you run it on a saw, it's gonna actually move all the frets and it'll like pick them out.
Yep.
When you do it this way, the guys are using it and going up against it so that it almost folds it the way you would do it. The way you would do it by hand, except we're saving their hands and having the machine do the press part. But the feel is still there, so you don't twist the frets, you don't, create any kind of like gaps or anything. You're getting a marriage of both.
That's perfect. That's crazy. I can't believe that. That's so old-fashioned. A little bit of a mix of new, but not much.
So over here we're doing the fret press.
Oh, this is the cool part.
The fret press process, we still do it with an arbor press. Now that's the only way to do it right. We have the calls set up for the different radii, and for compound radii, we're gonna have to change it as we go along, right? So that we get all the different sections, right? We're using fish glue, vintage style fish glue. We have little shims to keep it in place. We do check with our feeler gauges that there's no gaps inside any of the frets between the fret and the fretboard.
It's cool seeing this because it explains some of the small upcharges like compound radius, which is not an expensive upcharge. It's an affordable one, but it does. I'd imagine besides more work, you're gonna have more fallout too.
Yes, if you don't do it right at this level, by the time it gets back to the buff and polish area, you're gonna have to kick the guitar out. In which case, it already has paint on it. We've already invested a lot of time and effort, so it does become a problem. But this method and using all the old school tools that we did back in the day, this saves us a lot of money, and it's the right way to do it. If you do it right the first time, you don't have to repeat it.
That's too funny.
Oh, don't get a picture of that. But yeah, fret rockers are huge. You can check all the little different areas. Make sure the press are not high. We catch
is
it here, we
crazy.
can pull it here, fix it here. It doesn't have to go through the whole process.
That's
So,
perfect.
I'm gonna leave my bottle. Yeah, you have some cheat sheets. Everywhere you're gonna look in the custom shop, you're gonna see cheat sheets.
It's nice because you easily
Yeah.
forget some of this. It's a lot.
People do take a lot of pride in what they do, so they'll write their own notes. A lot of what we do is stuff that the guys have come up with. It's what they know is right. We don't pay somebody from the outside to come in and tell us how to build guitars.
You figure it out and you do it.
We just we brew it. We brew it in here. Bone nut installation. It is press fit, a little bit of glue, but for the most part it's press fit. And since they are made out of real bone, they'll check them.
Oh.
If you know, you can tell the difference.
Oh, you taste them. I do that with wood.
And then we'll check them, make sure they don't break because it's bone. So there could be like a natural flaw in the bone and that'll break. So we'll check them.
That's
If it's
too funny.
good, we'll work on them. We don't have to check these, but these we check them every time.
That's cool. I like that.
What's up, dude?
Killing it. Put those nuts in there.
Yep.
Vital.
Somebody's got to bust those nuts. What up, dude? So we're shaping some stone stripe fillers.
Oh, there
Get
it
them
is.
to get that radius. If you notice, we're using old school methods.
The old glue drip.
When I applied for the R&D position way back in my youth, the test was to fit a stone stripe so that it fits perfectly in this little radius. And I was doing what he was doing. It was so hard.
Yeah, I
Just
bet.
trying to get it perfectly. Stand it, do the thing.
That's a tough gig.
Do it enough, it becomes easy.
When you do it enough, it's the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, I can't do that.
What's up, dude? What's up? So here we have one of our pin routers. This is to remove the first chunk of wood off the back of the neck. Like we had talked, what really matters is slowly removing wood so that the neck can do its thing. This pin router is set up to do a rough cut that doesn't have a shape. So it doesn't have like a C shape, U shape, or a V or anything. It's just a round over, just to remove wood. And then over here, we give it the rough shape. And over there, we give it the second level shape. And over here, we give it the final pass.
Wow.
So it slowly gets worked, and throughout its process, it does its thing, it does its little twist, and we can correct it before it leaves the shop. So that's the goal, is to correct it before it leaves
That's
the
a
shop.
lot of time.
It's a lot of time.
Take off wood.
Yeah, and it's the only way. Like I said, a lot of these things are tried and true, and we do them because it's the right way, and it saves us work in the long run. You should never do something just to rush it and get it out. You're gonna pay for it in the end, always.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh,
Got it. Rock.
we have some fingerboard press.
Wait, so what is this section?
So they're pressing the fingerboards onto the blanks. These are air hoses, like actual, like, you know, fire hose
That's funny.
clamps. So they're pneumatic. So you get,
Yep.
it's the best way to press it evenly because it distributes even pressure across the whole fingerboard.
Sort of shocking how old school it is.
If you use clamps, which is kind of like an old method, you're applying uneven pressure throughout the whole fingerboard, so it doesn't glue down perfectly. This is perfect. It just glues it down perfectly.
That's crazy. I can't believe y'all do it that way.
This is an Andy. It's probably the oldest machine we have that is a CNC, still considered CNC. This thing's old, but it does its job, you know. This is a lot of Stratton tellies that are usually born here on the Andy. All the more intricate stuff is born here on the Haas's. Because we're a custom shop, we need to have that kind of like variability. So every one of our programs Has to be sound typed in. Again, notes. Everywhere you look, notes. That's because the operators really want to get it right. And they've learned the best way to do these things.
That's so confusing looking.
I know.
I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, dude. It's code. It's lines and lines of code. They know when to go in and block out a chunk of code. Like, hey, we want a Floyd. All right, well then block out this chunk of code and insert this chunk of code.
Even when they've done all this, they still take the body to go get hand finished.
Yeah. Again, this is for the stuff that has to be perfect, like pickup routes, intonation points, cavities, so they all line up. And then for all the hand feel stuff, it's still done by hand. I wish they were doing some arm contours so you could see them. But yeah, I'm thinking we're probably one of the only shops left that is our size that is still doing arm contours with a bandsaw and with block sanding, shaping them, using templates, fixtures, all the old school stuff you see down there. Some of these templates are like probably 30 years old, 40 years old.
Good gravy. That's nuts.
From when the custom shop started, so.
Yeah, I can't believe that's a thing.
And that's how we keep a lot of the lineage alive. You know, templates are huge, and if you're relying on machinery can go down. An operator and its knowledge will never go away.
No, I think you got the years of the people in here too.
Oh yeah.
Mixed with these pieces, insanity.
You could see like it's the table slowly indenting. A lot of the stuff just from being here so many years, from doing all the radiuses on this. It's just, it's a story in itself, dude. A lot of this, like I said, has been here for years. We have some of the best guys, if not the best guys in the business, I would say. So here's some block sanding, the final sanding of the arm contours, like I mentioned, and the belly cut. That started with a bandsaw, then they use a hard block, and then they start using softer blocks to smooth out the radius. So no CNC work there.
Wow. That's pretty special.
How's it going? ¿Cómo estamos? Bien. Acá dame un turno más. Tienes los... Está dando un turno más. ¿Tienes los radius que se usa para chequear el radio?
No, lo tiene Cárdenas.
Cárdenas. ¿Tienes el radius?
What's he doing?
I want to show you guys the radius gauges that we use to check. So they'll be using the squares to check the square, but they also have a radius gauge to check the radius. So they actually get it perfect.
There's one over here, but we don't use that.
Like,
Oh wow.
make sure it's and they'll check it in multiple areas, make sure it's right.
That is too much.
It's stuff that we take pride, you know, the little things. It's really the little thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is pretty much the end of this area. This is the final inspection area where all the information gets stamped into the body. So that when they leave, hey, it all lives on. So if you get a custom shop guitar, its DNA is imprinted in it.
Yeah.
So we'll always be able to pull this and know exactly what happened to it.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, every little piece.
That's why a lot of times when I mention, if you see the Travelers and you see initials on them, those are all the operators that have invested their time and energy in that guitar. All the different states. Yeah.
Dig it. Metal shop.
All right. So let's make our way into the metal shop,
The metal shop.
where all the metal happens.
Is this a hardcore place?
So much metal. Cool. Again, a lot of history here. A lot of these tools, these fixtures, the dies have been around from the time of Leo. Some new stuff, but for the most part,
Now around this corner,
bread and butter.
blows me away.
this is the, yeah, it's like going back in time, literally.
And
Just in the machine alone, you can
Yeah.
see the wearing. It's relics.
that's absolute insanity to me. But this is still how it's done.
And like I've mentioned, we did install safety devices to bring it into the, you know, into the modern realm. But everything else, the way it functions, the way the die is made, the cut, it all looks different. It looks vintage because it's done vintage.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So if you do laser these, you can laser them, but then the edges don't look right.
because the bend ups and
So then you get a little cool. A little bend, a little crunch. That some of the you know, the more meticulous folk will notice that. That's because it's cut.
funny.
And that's from a cut, as opposed to a laser that, you know, it will do the job, but it
Yeah.
won't look exact.
So that's really cool though. And the scale of these things is insane.
They're huge. The sound they make, so I can hear these from my office all day, but I learned to tune it out. Because or else I'd go insane. Hey, girl, ¿cómo estamos? These, some of the tools look like Fred Flintstone should be using these. To change
wow.
these dies out is a lot of work. So that's why when they run the parts, they make sure they run a large batch.
It's just the size of that engine up there is just insane to me.
Huge.
Disturbing. Like he's working on it right now.
Okay, how's it going? Yeah, look at this.
I mean,
Para arreglar el carro.
Yeah.
Imagínate.
it's so heavy.
Para los que se portan
my
mal.
God.
It's for those who misbehave.
It's huge. Yeah, that's terrible.
¿Cuánto demora cambiar una herramienta más o menos? No, para cambiar uno de los
The
dies.
noise it makes
Depende
all day. It drives me insane.
del tipo de parte y depende el tipo de lado, o sea, entre 40 45 minutos.
Yeah. To do a changeover, it could take upwards of an hour.
It's a changeover?
You have to do a changeover. So, and those are so heavy, they have to have a specialized pallet jack to move them, which is over there. So I can't just pick one of these up. Like yeah. The Strat one? Yeah, that's a
my
honker.
Lord.
Yeah.
That's a
Honestly,
beast.
like I said, some of these have been here from the time of Leo and they've just been refurbished. You know, we work on them as need be, but they're the OGs. They're the ones from the original days. This die here has probably touched more Strats than anybody else I know.
That's amazing too.
Millions.
Nuts. Absolute insanity there too.
Like it literally just says Strat.
And that's it. Bam.
Strat. There it is. Millions of guitars have been affected by these dies here.
Crazy. Yeah.
See if we can get something in action. I think everybody's about to go to break. But it would be worthwhile to get some of the pictures of the stuff that they're making back there.
So these are being pressed out into humbucker bridge plates.
So like we mentioned before,
That's fun. Okay.
we're one of the few companies that still make the majority of our machine parts, our metal parts. And here's some of the samples of the stuff we've done over the years.
Good gravy.
Things you wouldn't think about, we make in-house. Again, bent.
Have a little bit.
And when you look how it's done, then it makes sense why these creases are there, because they're bent into place.
It does. It's perfect. You can't do it any other way, it looks like.
That sounds scary.
Is that a good sound or a bad sound?
That is, it's winding down. It's just the weight of it's keeping it going. The
A
inertia.
nutty machine.
Yeah, everybody just went on break.
That's good. See, it's quieter now.
Yeah.
little moment of quiet, Derek.
Javier, what are these blanks for?
These look like they're gonna be some sort of a shield.
Hey, Sean.
They're not for us.
Might be tough.
I'm getting
They're
sleepy.
gonna get bent into some sort of a cup. Maybe, well, it's not gonna be the Jazz Masters, but this is definitely a shield that's gonna be bent into a cup.
Like a tub, yeah.
Yeah,
Trying to see all that.
I don't recognize it for our parts. It's probably a modern thing.
Yeah.
It's one of ours.
Cool. Machine Shop 202.
The other thing with a truss rod, a Fender truss rod in general, is the way we make these are still rolled. So these are pressed into place, they're not cut. It's actually stronger. So that when you put it on, and it won't break.
That makes
And
sense.
that's why we make a lot of our own stuff. You can find good stuff out there, you know, aftermarket, but people do start using modern ways. If you want any of these, you can take them. You just got to carry them out.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I will leave all these for you guys. You enjoy. Yo, Kelly.
Hi again. Those are cool pictures to take. These old school like drill presses.
These are cool machines.
Those are obviously not modern.
No, you haven't modernized this section of the factory yet at all.
We don't need to.
That's perfect. Sean and I approve. We like
There's-
old things that are rusty.
Yep. Natural relics.
Yes.
Very steampunk-esque.
Old beat up machines are fantastic.
And dude, honestly, like I have seen when we do try to modernize something, we run into problems we didn't realize we were gonna run into. And that's why in the custom shop we do want it. We try to keep everything the same as much as possible. Just because something's shiny and new doesn't make it better.
No. I concur. This old brown machine here. One of
Yeah.
these girls.
Bending some trem arms.
That's a trip. That's the trem arm bender.
Yeah. So you can use it to bend anything, but currently that's what they're running.
That's too much.
Yeah, buddy.
Money indeed.
Yeah.
What are these?
Bending the arms and different things. These are all just dies to load onto the machine, so when they press them into the correct shape.
I like it.
Johnny Mars. Cool signs for subassembly.
What is this room right here?
This is actually the maintenance room, so this is our mechanics. They make and they fix all our machines. So if it wasn't for these guys, the Fender would not
It
run.
would stop functioning.
Yeah.
That's cool. You have a maintenance room actually. Yeah.
Hey everybody!
Here's where we need to get some good
How's
stuff.
it going?
This is where they'll make our pickups, Derek. This is the pickup room.
Hi, Essie. We're gonna do a little tour.
Sorry for interrupting.
You want to join us?
We'll be quiet.
Yesenia is our team lead. As you guys met Laura downstairs and Manny
Yes.
in the mill, and Betty. Yesenia runs this area up here.
I run this baby cave.
This
So
is
why don't you
baby
tell us a
chaos.
little bit about your flow?
So right here on this side, you have the hand winders. We give out. I don't know if you guys
doing
can see that.
I know.
tiny
It's so
little-
small.
And that is our brightest wire. So after that, it gets darker and darker, it goes black.
Harder to see.
Oh, Lord.
Let's see if we can get one of the girls making winding dark wire.
Insane.
So each girl gets their packs, and they all have the knowledge of what new turns, what polarity, what kind of wire. And they wire themselves. We have three. We have the 83, 84, and then the yellow wire.
Gotcha.
There, it runs over to our wax area, where it is magnetized, dipped, checked for the output as well as the polarity. After that, it is made into a little kit, which goes to each of our workstations. Each of the piston has the ability to solder, test, all in itself. So it's a complete little cell.
Wow.
That way they can produce independently from each other, and the flow never stops.
That's also
So-
perfect.
All the internal organs of the guitar are born here.
Yeah. So we give them this. They again have the knowledge, the kernel, the drawings, everything that you can think of, and it comes out like this.
Ah,
That's
that's
the daughter, ready to go downstairs to get put all together. Get put down.
You guys build the engines.
Yeah.
This is it.
So these are the bins that you guys saw downstairs that are meeting with the necks and the bodies to create a guitar.
This is where we make whatever noise we want to.
We like noise, lots of loud noises.
Pickups.
You guys are gonna be doing a run for us, I believe.
know how they
too,
do
now,
it.
So
Fast,
we'll,
it's
Yeah.
what kind of noises you can make
and there's
up?
a counter on it
A
too.
little super project we're trying to get over here done.
The secret projects are here.
Wax
The
spotter.
waxing. This is the cool stuff. This is old school.
Fender brand.
Ah,
That way, you know, we actually upgraded this. We used to have a smaller pot, but since we kind of produce more and at better quality, we made this in-house. Our
No kidding.
maintenance team, as you can see, customized it for us.
Yeah.
they built this thing for y'all. That's
Yep.
perfect.
This is specially made for Custom Shop. That same team downstairs that we saw
Yep. I know.
is
That's
the
great.
guys.
And then make it for us right here.
What a cool, fun toy to have here.
Yeah, buddy.
I just want to open it, but I don't want to open it. It's scary.
I'll be like,
And-
have a little timer and a little bit help you out.
No,
And we
no,
also do shellac dipping, which takes longer for it to settle and dry, but it has a different tone. Obviously, shellac is a little bit more, it's brighter. It borders on like almost microphonic because it's vintage. It's so powerful. It really lets the pickup sing, but you have to be watching it when you're
you gotta
playing.
control that. Okay.
You have to control it. And when we do have the shellac stuff, we hang it up here. So right now, we're currently only doing wax.
Okay. No shellacking right now, just the waxing. Perfect. This is a rather important room in the world of Fender.
Yes. You can hardly tell that she's winding anything at all.
I know. I just thought the machine was on it first.
And it's coming out of those spools down there. So it's literally
right
being
there below,
fed.
yeah.
You see the counter is giving her the turns. She's controlling it.
Cool.
So it's like, it reminds me when you're pumping gas, you're trying not to overshoot the.
Get the last little shot in there.
Blah.
It's really cool. It's invisible.
Basically invisible.
Grab your hand on that. That is good.
Obviously, this is the bread and butter.
Yeah, this is, this is the king stuff right here.
Mhm.
All the good toys. I love it.
And these winders are hard to find and nowadays to get the right ones, the ones that make sense for what we do. Obviously, like people use winders for other things in other industries, but the way we use them is so nuanced that we have to take care of them.
Even this looks dangerous a little bit too.
If she holds it just a little bit too tight, it'll break. You just have to start over again.
Oh, they can whack your finger too.
You can't feel it. I can walk up and grab it and it'll break. I won't feel it.
Look, it looks terrifying.
Just by hand.
Back and forth.
Watch, pull it apart.
I don't understand. It's like it's nothing.
Yeah, you won't even.
I think it disappeared. I lost it.
I don't even like
I don't
when
even know I
I
have
tried
it in
it.
my
I
hand.
can't feel it. So they could actually feel it and they guide it. They feed it, kind of like a scatter wound, but by hand.
Yeah, so
There she goes.
it has a little bit more wiggle more in the strap, but if we look at it
Yeah. So if she were to bust it, we'd have to start all over again.
to the dark one,
She doesn't do that.
in it inside.
That's what I'll be doing.
So as you guys know, the custom shop is a lot of lacquer. So a lot of these guitars are sanded and buffed and treated. So there's a lot more work and time being put into the final product to look nice, lacquer in itself never really stops gassing off.
Correct.
But we make sure that at the final level as it leaves, it's at its utmost pristine look before it reaches you guys. So as you can see over here, we're getting some of the sanding of the orange feel, the first steps in the buffing process, and the final polish over here.
Now, I think people are going to be shocked at how much actual handwork is still on everything.
Oh yeah. On these, actually these wheels are only made for us. They're specially made for us. Any other guitar company usually uses like a metal core wheel. These are actually cloth core all the way
Really?
through for lacquer.
Can I touch it?
Sure. It won't hurt. Just, you can actually shine your fingernails on it.
I noticed you doing that earlier.
Yeah. It's an old, it's a habit that dies hard, dude. I just walk
Oh
by.
man, that's crazy.
And so, I mean, it really with lacquer, it's not like most modern materials, right? Because it doesn't ever stop gassing off. So you're shaping it and you're giving it like the correct look with the wheel as well as sandpaper. If you're doing something like polyester or polyurethane, something you see more common in other product lines, it's really the sanding is where you do the majority of the shaping. With lacquer, the wheel does have a lot to play into it. So there's a lot being done here. And we have variable wheels for different adjustments. The guys will feel the lacquer, years of experience. They'll know, hey, I'm gonna turn this down, I'm gonna turn it up.
That's
want to get the
fascinating.
pristine, you know, like utmost shininess. There we go.
Now, something I've noticed too, I've noticed lots of pictures of vintage guitars sort of mixed in with the custom shop. Is that to help the artist sort of shape it, the relics?
Yes. So a lot of times what the relic guys are gonna be, not only looking at pictures, but when we get in guitars, they'll actually pick up and look and hold and feel the real thing.
Okay,
Because
the actual
super
guitars.
important.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very important part of it. So we should probably now head back over this way. Any further over there, we get into danger zone.
We don't want to go danger zone, so some of it's off limits for us. Top secret. That's the fun of this whole place.
So now this is the neckline. So this is the partner to the bodies. Every one of our guitars are one-off. So that means that no matter what you're looking at a pair from the moment it's born. And this is where it separates, but it will realign back over here. The neck guys are, each guy is doing the entire process themselves. That means that they're doing the fret dress, the sanding, the buffing, making sure that the necks are at the highest level before they go over to the final assembly area. Now these guys, some of these guys also have been here like 20 plus years, 30 years, so they know exactly what they're feeling as they're taking it to these wheels. Same thing with the fret dress. Some of these guys are guitar players as well, so they will play their own frets to get the best feel.
Fantastic.
So they'll pick up the guitar and be like, hey, this is the one I set up, or this is the one that I fret dressed, and they'll check it. So there's a lot of conversation going between the necks and the bodies and the final assembly. To me, the neck's probably the most important part of the guitar. That's where the life is.
That's where you
if
touch
the
it.
neck feel is right, the radius is right, the setup, it all meets perfectly, you can get a super guitar. And that's really what it comes down to. To me, this is so important. Let's walk down this way. Raul! Raul, ¿cómo
Oh, fun
estamos?
areas.
¿Cuántos años estás aquí, ya, Raulito?
¿Ah?
¿Cuántos años tienes acá con Fender con nosotros?
¿Aquí?
Ujú.
38 años.
¿Desde qué?
38 años.
He's been here 38 years.
38 years.
38 years.
Good God.
Yeah. Trabajaste en Fullerton también, ¿no?
Vine in 46.
Fullerton days. Too.
Yeah. So, when CBS?
CBX, control is 46.
Yeah.
God.
So, that's a lot of
amazing.
experience.
Takes a lot of experience to get in this little room, I've learned.
Yes. A lot of
nice.
the people here have cut their teeth in multiple areas, and this is kind of where we get the best of the best.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
like this
so a
is
lot
the
of these
MVPs
guys-
of the team.
This
here.
is the cream. You know, like these guys have earned their way here. Nobody here just wanders in. They've been trained through multiple areas until they end up here.
It's shocking how old-fashioned it still is.
Oh yeah.
It's not what most people think. I've been to a lot of factories, a lot of CNC. I'm seeing a lot of sanding and belt sanders and grinders and handwork here.
If it works, don't fix it. And we want this to be a shop. This is a custom shop. So we don't even consider it a factory. We are a guitar shop. And
Right
to
on.
keep that, we have to keep hands-on work at all times. Same, also with tribal knowledge, teaching in between the teams. Everybody communicates, everybody talks, they show each other tricks. They've been working together years and years. So all that feeds into the fact that this is a shop and not just a factory.
I like that. Chop it up.
Even master builders are over here busting out guitar.
Levi, what are you doing here? Look who he's found. What in the world is Levi doing out here?
Oh yeah, they got to build stuff. Each one of
Levi,
these guys
good
are
seeing
their
you
own
again.
shop.
That's fun. That's really funny. Just around the Levi right there.
Levi actually started on the line here with us.
This where he was?
Yeah. This was all restructured and it was in the back, but he was
God,
over
that's
here.
Too
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
He's made it up to the master world.
Yep. He was one of the guys I hired from the PL10 line back.
No kidding. He
10
spotted
years ago.
talent or something?
He applied and he just had something. So we brought him
Had
over.
it.
He was doing reliking and then learned all the different aspects of it and became master builder.
Yeah.
So over here's where we, where the rubber meets the road, right? So here's where the bodies, the necks, and the parts all become a guitar or a unit, as we want to say, right? Because
That's where the magic is.
this is where the magic is. Every one of
Look at
these
that.
things started pristine, and now we have some of the coolest relics you could see.
That too, that primer coming through.
And like I said, everything that we do, we try to match the original, the real stuff. So we try to get hands-on as much as possible.
This would be a dangerous place to work.
Same with the parts. All
Right.
pre-wired, ready to go, so that when we get to the final assembly area, not a lot of people get to see inside, but we
No,
also
that
take
is really cool.
take a lot of pride in the way it looks too. Nice and neat, nothing, no excess wire, so they can just drop right in.
So neat. Let's see where that's going. Eddie's
guitars.
got a cool toy coming. Now tell me about this little section here.
So this is our key area. We have everything divided into new stuff, little distress, more distress. All of that's done in-house, as you guys know. And everything is dictated by the travelers as well as the decals. So this is the key up area. Here's where we're gonna install the keys, we're gonna install the decals, water slide like they did back in the day. This again, this is a learned process. This is somebody who's doing this for years and years and knows where it needs to be. If you put it in the wrong place, the string tree is gonna get in the way. It's not gonna look correct to the actual pictures. We have a lot of pictures for them. They have a book somewhere in here. At this point, they all have it memorized. But if we ever need it, we have a lot of documentation to get it right. Yes, exactly. And depending on what picture you have from the 50s, it might look a certain way because they weren't as meticulous at that time. Because Leo's idea was mass produced. Let's make something that the average person can afford.
Moving on. That's so cool.
And as we move forward, further into the line, we see now the final assembly area.
Okay.
Again, a lot of tribal knowledge goes into play because not everything's going to be on the traveler. A lot of it is what we know. This is correct. This is period correct. This is what this guitar should have. We try to stick to the traveler as much as possible with every nuanced part that's being called out, but there's stuff that cannot be written down that we just know. We know that's correct. Yeah,
Correct.
they just have to know it. And if you look, they all have a book with a bunch of notes. Hey, Angie, you have your notes book I can show real quick?
Oh wow. Even all the tagging. That's
Yeah.
crazy. You just think you get your guitar with your tag on it, you don't realize someone's putting it all together.
Look at those. This is all notes.
Oh Lord.
All the years. Angie, how many years have you been here in the custom shop? 30 years.
Congratulations. That's
So,
amazing.
This is a Bible in itself. You know, you could find anything at any point, any little side note that we have or question. It's all been looked at, documented,
Wow.
poured over.
Every
you
wiring
know.
schematic is awesome.
Yeah,
Good God. That's
Thank
the
you,
Bible,
Angie.
the Custom
Yep.
Shop Bible. You heard it here first.
there it is.
Oh, yeah, this is a pretty amazing little part here. God, look at that thing.
Here's another super relic.
Yep.
Again, since the bodies and the necks, the guys all work very closely. They'll literally go to the guy and be like, "Hey, how you doing the body? All right, let me match the neck." And then the guys who are assembling, they're gonna match the parts because we want it to look like like cohesive guitar. So they're gonna talk to each other and be like, "Hey, what do you about? No, let's do that. How about we do this and make it look like a cowboy wear? So it goes held up higher or held up lower."
That's cool.
So they will have that
That's a
communication.
nice detail right there.
A lot of first position wear is like cowboy wear because you play it up high. So the testers, again, these guys know the odds and ends, dude. Like Tony, when he started here, he was in the mill, working in Jackson, made his way in here, started doing relicing, has learned fret dress, relic, assembly, testing. Tony Sombrero, great guitar player.
There you
This guy's good. He's really good.
Solid.
That's Louis. Louis also came from the line over there. He started as a tester in PL10, came over here to learn next, relic, assembly, testing. So ideally, if the guy here knows the whole process, they can make sure it's a pristine guitar going out the door. So they know what fret dress should look like, how to fret dress, why it's fret dressed that way. Same thing with assembly. They know why this part goes there, what was period correct. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that catch a lot of the stuff that the customer themselves don't know. Like, hey, are you sure you want this? Because this is actually the way it was done. Or this might not work so well unless you do this. So then that's when we communicate back with you guys and be like, hey, what do you think? Here's a suggestion. Because these guys, again, like bankers, they handle the real deal every day. So they know, they feel it, or this is weird, this is off. They'll call it out, they'll raise their hand. Now, nobody's perfect, but we do aspire.
Close as you can get.
Close as we can get.
And here's the famous guy right
You
here.
guys already met this guy, Mr. KC Moss.
He's infamous.
You're on camera, Moss.
Now you're on camera. Yeah, it's gotten worse. This is small camera.
Peace.
This is the guy I talk about on the YouTube channel a bunch.
Hi.
Hi,
Mom.
He loves his mother. He puts all these guitars together at the end here. We love them.
I just do it for him.
Just for me. Just the private work. Man, brother, good to see you again.
What's up?
Look at that. We're family.
I think you dirty, man.
I'm born dirty. It's okay. Man, it's beautiful seeing you again, dude.
Yeah.
Our two lovely leads.
Oh
we
my
got
gosh. Hello.
Betty Fisher and Laura
How are
Moreno.
you guys? Nice to meet you.
They run this area.
Nice to meet you. Good.
Again, many years
Good
of
luck.
experience. Laura just celebrated her 34 year anniversary.
35.
35,
You
okay,
said
ya fue el año
35.
pasado, yeah.
God, congratulations.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
in charge of all these people here. You gotta make sure
Yes.
this keeps going. How
So-
do you do it? Bribes?
Huh?
Bribery?
Leave to the job.
Okay.
If they need help, run away. Here.
There you
Yeah.
go. I like this to be a fun boss to have.
Yes.
I would enjoy that.
And Betty leads the buff and polish side.
Ooh.
And so Betty's also been here about 29 years. Because you were here when I got here. I remember that. Yes, Betty helped me out a lot.
You were born here too.
I was born here, yeah.
And we'll die here.
Yes, I hope.
That's my
On the
idea.
bench.
Last spring.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for all you do. Thank you.
Yep.
It's wonderful. And it's beautiful.
So
It's beautiful in here.
this concludes the final assembly area.
Cool. Found something wrapped.
Really? Dude, when I smell a compound, it reminds me of my youth, literally. This was like my college being at Fender.
I don't want to do this again. Okay, we've seen it. We came, we saw, we conquered. Javier, thank you for taking us.
Anytime.
It was awesome. It was fun. We saw everything we wanted to see. We saw how they build guitars and how they don't build them how you thought they were going to build them. It's really old-fashioned.
Old-fashioned, a lot of love, you know.
A lot of love. I was shocked by the amount of handwork.
You have to feel it. If you rely on a machine to do everything, you're not going to get the spirit of the custom shop. It's really all in the hands.
I can't even respond to that. It's great. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click like, subscribe, all the other fun stuff, and just peace be with you guys out there.